following podcast is recorded and produced by the Podcast Precinct in affiliation with the network at bicbp-radio.com. The Podcast Precinct. Consistency, creativity, culture.
The Nostalgia Funhouse proudly dedicates all episodes in the loving memory of Connie Chirac. So, Johnny, I've been hearing really great things about this Nostalgia Funhouse. It just brings back so many great memories.
Andrew, the only reason I'm moving in line with you here is that you really vouched for this show. So I'm just going to believe you that this is the show that, I've been wanting, which is just talking about all the fun stuff from our yesteryear and the years before. And I really hate anything meta. So I'm glad that what we're doing right now is not that.
Oh, no, definitely. What is meta? Isn't that Ron Artest's new name?
Well, add world and peace to it, sure.
Yeah, but this is great. They last year they were tier and play sets and Halloween costumes.
Well, that sounds cool.
They get these weird court recordings from pop culture courts.
Does anybody care about court cases?
These ones are kind of cool. They put Scott Kelvin on trial. Poor old Santa Claus there.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, man. You know what's the best part about this is though? Is I hear they always got a really great sponsor. You can check it out right there.
If your friends got a hold on you, here's what you gotta do. Bring home all the action. You'll get more satisfaction when you bring home all the action. Get a grip, get a lock, get a hold on everyone. You'll have all the thrills, all the fun. Bring home all the action. And now the WWF Superstar. Bring home all the action. From LJN.
Hello, everybody out there, and welcome back. Actually, I don't even want to say welcome back. Welcome to a crossover episode where we are dual feeding between Johnny and I, two podcasts here, the Retroactive Sports podcast and the Nostalgia Funhouse. We thought this episode was just too big to put it on one show. What do you say, Johnny?
Yes, that's right. That's correct. I agree with you, Andrew. This is my new speaking voice. I've been listening to a lot of NPR lately, and I just think that this is the way you should talk in an audio medium. This is as loud as I will get, even when I'm angry. In fact, right now I'm just furious that Andrew decided this change right when we got on. He was like, Johnny, we're going to just record both of these, and that other idea we had that you put research into, well, screw that. That doesn't matter. And that's fine. I mean, that's fine with me. I'm not mad about that at all. I've worked on my anger management and all is well.
Not what you told me, Johnny.
That's a complete lie. My research was I Googled movies from eras.
Yeah.
That was my research for that. But no, we're doing something fun here. Andrew, I've decided that in today's realm of pop cultureness, what's the big thing going on? That, of course, is the idea of multiverses, right? That's a big thing and a lot of stuff going on. So I have a number of podcasts, and I've decided that this is the Johnny Podcast Multiverse. They're all connected somehow, and that's by me. And today we're connecting two podcasts with Andrew and myself. So you're either going to be listening to this on our sports one or on our pop culture one, and guess what? It's going to be the same. It doesn't matter which one you listen to.
Or if you want to get crazy, listen to them.
Let's get nuts.
Two different feeds at the same time.
Oh, dude, dueling feeds.
Dueling.
Do that, and make people question your sanity. That's the greatest thing. I love doing that.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
Andrew, what did we decide was just so big, such a big idea that we're going to put it and would actually fit both a sports podcast and the Nostalgia Funhouse?
So this is going to be a two-parter, but the second part will be only on the retroactive one because this one episode is too big. So, Johnny, we're wrestling fans.
That's right.
I think you probably keep up with it a little bit more than I do, but we both love the pageantry, the showmanship, the athleticism. And this goes out to the guy that called Andre the Giant not a legitimate athlete on our Facebook page. Shame,
Okay.
sir. Oh, I forgot to tell you about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back to my NPR voice for this one because that really, and I mean as nice as I can, pisses me off.
It made me mad too.
I'm legitimately great about that. If you don't think Andre the Giant was an athlete, then you don't know anything about Andre the Giant. There, I said it. Stand by it.
So we are drafting between probably the two greatest eras in wrestling history, and we are going to pin these two eras together. That is the golden age of wrestling, from what I understand, is 82 to 92.
Right. Yep.
Against that wacky, crazy era of the Attitude Era, which some people say not quite known where, but 97 to 2002.
Yeah, basically, if you're into pro wrestling, it's the era of the Monday Night Wars, as they say.
Yes.
Is that era. So this is going to be fun. But which are we doing for both shows, Andrew?
We're doing the draft. So we are drafting. We have to make 10 picks in each era. So we're going 20 rounds. That's the other reason why we were like, hey, let's combine this.
Yeah, I don't want to record 4 hours. We're not Jim Cornette. Okay. We can't do 4 hours of wrestling talk. Just can't, and I won't do it.
I'm pretty sure I could get you if I mention Mick Foley enough times in a row.
Yeah, that's fair.
So we can only pick wrestlers from that era. So from either one of those eras, which a lot of wrestlers cross over.
Yes.
So if we pick a certain wrestler, we have to define what era we're picking them from.
Agreed. Yeah, let's go ahead and set some rules here. I like this. Obviously, if I pick one or you pick one and that wrestler's off the board, can't be picked again.
Nope.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that they can't be. Do you think different versions? Let's just use the easy one, Hulk Hogan, for an example. 80s Hulk Hogan is different from NWO Hulk Hogan, right?
Yes.
Or Hollywood Hogan, as he went by. Do you consider them both a pick each, or if you take Hogan, then the other Hogan's off the board?
Nope. Once Hogan's gone, Hogan's gone.
I agree with this. Okay,
because I am that guy that, like, when we're playing a sports game, and if you're like, I want to be the Lakers, and I'm like, I'm going to be the Lakers, and the other person's like, well, I'm going to be the Lakers too. No.
Yeah, I can't do that.
It's Highlander, baby. There can only
be one, and you got to behead me if you want to take my place.
Yes. So
please don't behead me.
If you're like, I want Hollywood, so you pick Hollywood. I cannot pick Hulk anyway. Gotcha. Also, tag teams will count as one pick. We got to have at least one tag team match on the card. So we each
have to pick one tag team in our draft.
Yep, for each era.
Yes, agreed.
I think that's pretty much the only really rules that there was. Other than that, as long as they fall between those time periods, they're up for grabs, because really, if you think about it, this is WWF regaining control from WCW, and pretty much the rise of WWF eras right here. The end of the territories and in the golden era.
Yes. I'm going to throw in a wrinkle here. I didn't discuss this with you, and it's purely because I just now thought about it. Feel free to veto this idea. I'll also say that we're technically going to do 11 picks, because the extra pick is we each get to pick a manager slash somebody who would go to the ring with them. You know what I'm talking about? Like your Bobby Heenans or your Paul Heymans.
Okay. Or if we pick the person, do we get the manager? No, I'd like that. I think
we pick the manager. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
I say we start with the golden era first, don't you think?
I would say just whatever comes up.
Oh, that's going to confuse the living heck out of me.
That is why I have a handy dandy notebook with a pen here.
My brain won't allow me to go back and forth, so I guess I won't force you to do it. I'm going to start in the golden era and then go to the next one personally. You can do it however you wish, but that's just for my brain, so I don't get confused.
I was just going to go with whatever.
Yeah. Usually we're the other way around on this stuff, folks. Just so you know. Usually I'm the one with whatever, and Andrew's the one with we gotta let's have some sort of structure here.
This is very odd.
Yes, it is.
This is definitely the multiverse is clashing here.
I think so.
Doing that. All right, so I have the handy dandy coin flipper.
You call this time. I called last time.
Oh, okay. Well, no, because that's not fair because I can see what it landed on when I went to the coin toss.
I mean, I can't see it either way, so it doesn't matter.
I can make you see it.
Well, that sounded really rude.
It's on tails right now.
Okay, well then I pick Sonic.
In the words of Tom Hanks in The Terminal, 50-50.
That's right. I'll go heads. I'll call heads.
You know what? That was funny because I was gonna say, oh, here we go. And it's heads.
All right. Okay.
We're not doing snake. We're just gonna go first, second.
All right, I like that. All right. This is a lot of pressure having this number one pick because I think that there's
two huge guys.
Yeah, that are very obvious here. I gotta go just purely because I loved seeing how certain people would take his finishing maneuver. I gotta go Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Stone Cold. No stunning Steve Austin. Oh no, he wouldn't be able.
No, I'm picking the Stone Cold. Could you imagine if I said no? I want the stunning Steve Austin.
I'm actually
who was still quite good. Don't get me wrong, but Stone Cold is literally what brought in this era of the most popular pro wrestling had ever been. Was when Stone Cold got huge, and what's really more wild about that is he was actually injured quite a lot during this when he got really big.
Yeah,
honestly. And the other thing that I love that people don't think about is the infamous moment when he stuns Vince McMahon, and that kind of sets off this Vince versus Stone Cold thing. The storyline is, and I think there was actual truth to it, that Stone Cold was hurt, legit hurt, and Vince McMahon was like, you just can't wrestle because you're hurt. I'm looking out for you. That was legit the reason. So Stone Cold stuns him, and Vince McMahon's the bad guy because it didn't want Stone Cold to continue to hurt himself.
That's a first for McMahon, probably. Well, probably he knew the money.
I do not want to defend Vince McMahon at all. But you'll hear tales like Mick Foley has a very great story of after that very famous Hell in a Cell match where Vince was like, thank you for what you did, but never ever do that again, type of things. You know what I mean? So I do think depending on who you are, I would suppose he cares.
Yeah.
Stone Cold makes you a lot of money. You know what? All right, so Stone Cold's off the board. I'm taking Stone Cold. This is even after I said I was going to do Golden Era first, by the way. I went against my own rule. So I guess I'm doing late 90s, early 2000s first.
I gotta go. You know what? I gotta eat my prayers. Say my vitamin. My prayers.
You gotta eat your prayers.
My vitamin. Dude, my brain is so off.
You gotta say your vitamins. B+.
I'm gonna go
C.
I'm gonna go Hulk Hogan for some golden era fun.
Yeah.
Because I would still say he's the biggest star in the 80s.
Oh, yeah, no question.
Biggest star in the 80s, probably the biggest athlete in the 80s at this point.
He's yeah. I mean, maybe you could throw in Magic and Bird a little bit there, maybe some Kareem, but that's just basketball. And that's
I prefer sugar too. Then,
yeah, I mean, who doesn't? Sugar, salt, pepper. You need all the condiments.
Well, you said maybe put in some cream.
Yeah. I know what you were doing. I'm on board with you. Yeah, you got to put in some cream, and it rises to the top, as a certain wrestler would say. All right, so the two big ones are off the board.
I think those are probably the consensus first two picks.
Yes. All right, so now it's Wild Wild West. Wild Wild West, Jim West Desperado. I got to go with my heart here. You already know who I'm going to pick. Technically, I'm getting three wrestlers in one with this one.
Yeah, I would say you could go either way with it, each one of these, because they're all in the same.
But just for sticking to the rules, I'm going to go Mankind Mick Foley here.
Okay.
Just because that's the Mick Foley that I was introduced to. That's the first one that I knew and instantly gravitated towards, in my opinion, one of the greatest talkers of all. sports entertainment, as they like to be called, criminally somehow gets left off of a lot of those lists, which I do not understand. How do you not include Mick Foley as one of the greatest talkers? I mean, even when he was in ECW, he was just incredible.
I think it's the cryptic promo of Mankind. There's a lot of the gimmicky stuff, but
even that stuff's good though. Like his I feel his stuff was good. Even when he's in the dungeon with the Jim Cornette's rat, he's great. You know?
George.
Yeah, with George. So I got to go with Mankind Mick Foley here because he was one of those rare ones. And there's a few wrestlers who can do this, but there's not very many who can do comedy, and you would laugh and they're very funny, but it takes away none of the credibility at all.
Yeah. Crap. Got to do it. Do you smell that, Johnny? It
Snip, snip.
doesn't matter what you're smelling. You know.
You're taking the rude man.
I'm going with The Rock.
I got it. I understand it. Yeah.
I caught you there. Caught you.
Yeah.
Caught you snoozing. Gotta go with The Rock. If I can't get Stone Cold, I gotta go with The Rock. Probably the macho man of the Attitude Era.
Man, I love Macho Man. But I would say The Rock was probably bigger than Macho Man, just at a popularity, I would think. And crossover wise, Macho did crossover. I mean, heck, he fought Spider-Man for crying out loud.
Did.
But The Rock
Did you hear that he did research for like 30 years to do that role?
I know, that's incredible, right? He pro wrestled research for 30 years just to be a bonesaw. It's pretty incredible, if you ask me.
It really is.
All right. Okay, man, that's a big one to take off the board too.
Yeah.
All right, this is our own personal drafts.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to do it. To me, this guy was the one guy that I think the WWF wished they could have during the whole Monday Night area. He's the one guy who never, ever went over there until way, 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 way late. I'm going with Crow Sting here.
Crow Sting,
who, if you go back and watch, calm down, ladies, keep your underwear on. I have went back and watched Nitros, WCW Nitros. The gimmick when he first got into that gimmick was you would see him in the rafters, the Velociraptors. You would see him in those, and he wouldn't speak. Like, I was just thinking he wouldn't talk. He didn't talk for months, I don't think. And it was such a big deal because he was just dressed in all black with the white face paint, and he looked really freaking cool. So, and side note, also, I'm very, me and my mama are quite close. I love my mama, and one of her favorite all time, besides the Rock and Roll Express, was Sting. She loves Sting. So I gotta take Sting not only for myself, but for my mama.
I didn't watch wrestling for probably after 93, so a good 4 years.
Yeah.
Till after WrestleMania 14. And then I saw Sting, and I'm like, that's not Sting.
Very different, right? Yeah.
But it is Sting. Oh geez, who do I got? I'm trying to think of some WCW guys, but there's a lot of guys that I think I could get later on. Oh man. I'm gonna go with Bret Hart's favorite wrestler. Goldberg. I think I know where I'm going with this, and I think I might have some fun with this later on. Only
All
the
right. That's a good pick. I would have picked him. He was one of my favorite wrestlers during that era when I was growing up. So Bret Hart probably would have hated me. Which would have made me sad because I like Bret Hart. But
I almost went with Das Wonder Kid, but I figured it would be a little bit too high.
And
wrestling
really, really, yeah, that's a deep cut.
I don't even think I could do the dance.
Oh man.
We speak highly of Das Wonder Kid on this show.
Oh yeah. And then he came back as Berlin or something like that.
Yeah, Berlin, because he got paired with that guy, The Wall.
Yes.
Oh, Vince Russo, how you ruin everything.
All right, my next pick is Major Erection. No, just kidding. Just kidding. I wouldn't do that. Even though Hugh Morris is a fantastic wrestler.
How do you get two play on words?
I know
Names.
that's names. Well, the best part was when Huge Erection would actually come to the ring with Major Guns.
Oh,
It's a great 1-2 combo there. You'll never guess why she was named Major Guns. You'll never get it in a million years.
Never. That's when they transferred Booker T there for a little bit back to GI Bro.
Yes. All right. All right. I want to take this guy because, man, he's sort of kind of caught in the middle of these two eras, but he really comes to his own, I think, in the Attitude Era and during this late 90s run against his quote unquote brother. It's gotta be Kane. I'm gonna go Kane here. Even when he was, I remember Andrew being on the edge of my seat when he was going to unmask, because you legit never saw this guy without this mask on. And he takes off the mask and he's just like this bald guy. Like he looks like a guy.
So,
because this is before I know he was a dentist before all this.
So Kane is one of the reasons why I got back into wrestling. Oddly enough. And it wasn't.
No, I get it. He's an interesting, fascinating character who Undertaker tried to light on fire multiple times.
Like Stone Cold was cool, but Kane and The Rock drew me back in, and the Giant. I used to have the Giant t-shirt. It wasn't a giant. Well, the Giant was on the t-shirt. Well, I was a big guy, so I guess you could say either way. It was a Giant t-shirt. Let's see. Where can I go here? You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go Andre.
Yeah, I'm seeing the era of my ways of sticking to one era first.
I'm gonna go with Andre the Giant. That is my showstopper, my attraction. Well, not so much showstopper, but attraction right there is Mr. Andre the Giant.
Yeah. Oh man.
And I get like good Andre because we got him like 82. So he's still a movable person.
Yeah, he's still got a little left in the tank there. Okay, I'll see your Andre, and I'll raise you a big sexy. And I'm going to go Kevin Nash here. Because not only do I get big sexy Kevin Nash, I get one of the greatest matches of all time when he was finger poked to Doom. And also,
That's horrible.
and also I don't want to brag, but he stood up against the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Sure, he brought the peer down upon himself, but he did it.
He's finger poked to Doom himself. Oh my goodness. All right. I'm gonna go The Undertaker. Teddy Long would be proud of me.
For sure. Definitely.
Because I have an amazing idea with him. And obviously, Attitude Era. I want Attitude Era Undertaker.
Yeah. As long as you don't say badass motorcycle riding.
No. Actually, I kind of like that in a way. I'm not gonna lie.
That's more like the actual person, but I prefer
that
I want
one.
my Undertaker walking to the ring during a thunderstorm is what I want personally.
I think it was a good change of pace.
He had been that Undertaker for a long time, and I don't blame him for wanting to change it up because he literally been doing that for 20 plus years or something at that point, that. Yeah, so I get it. I'm not mad at it. I understand it, but I just can't accept the Undertaker, one of the greatest legends of our time, going to the ring with Limp Bizkit's rolling, playing in the background. I won't do it.
It was American Badass there for a while.
Yeah, but I just rolling.
Yeah, I still need that bell, that doom.
Yeah, me too. I mean, Pro Wrestlers theme music is a show for another time.
Yeah. Oh, that's a whole show by itself.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I already took Kevin Nash. I think it's time for me to take the other guy, the other outsider. I'm going, and honestly, had one of the coolest finishing maneuvers, in my
Very
opinion.
well protected too.
Yes, very much so. And we're going Scott Hall here. Got to go Scott Hall, one of the coolest there ever was. And he was one of those wrestlers when, it was all coming out, he was going through that hard time in his personal life. Like, it really bummed me out because I just like this guy so much, And another one when he passed away really sucked. So, but Scott Hall, man, I remember my favorite things was he went through when he was in NWO, he went through this time where he would get to the ring, he'd grab a mic and he would quote unquote ask the crowd while they were there, are you here for, and he'd always do it this way, are you here for a WCW?
I love how people do that. WCW.
Yeah, make it as southern as possible. Or for the NWO. So I gotta go Scott Hall here.
All right. I am gonna go with one of your co-hosts on the panel discussion.
You can't pick Shaq. He's a basketball.
Oh no, baby. I'm going with Dusty Rhodes. Dusty Rhodes all day, baby. Obviously, Golden Era. I'm not doing that attitude ECW Dusty. I want good Dusty. I want
Hey, he was in NWO for like
times Dusty.
He was in NWO for like a month.
Yeah.
They knew what they were doing.
I had a whole episode idea for Johnny and I that we put on the back burner because it's a good idea. Might be a good little YouTube video because it can be done real quick.
Yeah.
Like just going through the list of MWO people and thinking about the people that we should just kick out.
Yeah. It'd be a lot. So my next pick is Virgil. Just kidding.
Do you want Virgil or Vincent?
Oh, that's I'm gonna need an hour to think about this.
If we go Brutus Beefcake, man, do you want the disciple
or do you want your haircut? Which one is it?
I could have gone my whole entire life in peace knowing that Brutus Barber Beefcake was I just didn't want to know that he was the disciple.
Yeah.
The disciple looked so cool and intimidating. And then when somebody was like, that's Brutus Beefcake. And I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I wanted to do the Seinfeld, slap my money, slap the remote on the table and go, I'm done. I'm not watching this anymore.
Yeah, I got it. I understand. All right. Now I'm going to have some fun with my next pick, as long as you don't pick them. I got to go with the guy who I remember when I was younger and I saw this guy. I was like, man, I don't get why people like him. But then as I got older, I was like, this guy freaking rules, and I became a huge fan. And today he's one of my all-time favorites. But I'm going to take him during this not the golden era, during his personal golden era, which would be right between his WCW and his WWE run, kind of right in there. I'm going to go with Latino Heat himself. I'm going Eddie Guerrero here.
There we go.
Incredible matches. Incredible. Anytime he got on the mic, if you go back and just watch him and listen to him, he just kind of oozes
machismo.
Yes,
I had to.
Yes. But charisma too. He had everything, and to this day, I mean, there's been great frog splashes. Don't get me wrong. Rob Van Dam's is pretty great, but I will always say Eddie Guerrero had the best one. So I'm going Eddie Guerrero with my next pick here.
I wish the NW or the LWO would have worked.
Well, they had some great wrestlers in it. That's for sure.
Do you hear that in the background?
I don't hear anything on my end.
It sounds like bagpipes over here.
Don't do this to me.
This is why you gotta switch.
My brain won't let me do it.
This is why you gotta switch. I'm going with Hot Rod, baby. Golden Era.
I'm not going to have anyone to pick.
Golden Era Hot Rod. Yeah, because you're at 7 with Attitude Era.
Oh, God bless.
Golden Era, Roddy Piper.
That's one of my all-time favorite wrestlers ever.
Oh yeah. Great in the ring, great on the mic.
Great in the movies.
Yeah.
All right.
Shocked me when he was in that softcore Cinemax movie. I'm like, wait, Roddy, what are you wait, no, Roddy. Childhood ruined.
Well, I'm about to ruin your list, and I'm going to just. I think I have to start choosing from the golden era. I will not have anyone left. I'm going to go Macho Man here.
All right.
I want to take Macho Man, just for the promos alone. I mean, let alone how great he was in the ring. And again, he fought Spider-Man. So
Yeah.
Macho Man, I'm going to snap into a Slim Jim and choose the Macho Man, Randy Savage.
The madness. The madness of the Macho Man. Oh yeah. I think I need a golden hair guy. Oh. Why not pick? Woo!
God, dadgummit.
Ric Flair, baby. Good Ric Flair. Not old man Ric Flair. Good Ric Flair. Ric Flair that I hated. I just hated growing up. The Nature Boy.
Oh God. All right. I'll see your Ric Flair, and I'll raise you the one man who was ever able to stop Goldberg's spear. And I don't know why he doesn't talk about that more as much as he talks about Goldberg. I gotta go Bret Hart.
Ooh. I'm guessing Attitude Era Bret Hart there.
No.
You're going golden era?
I'm going golden era Bret Hart.
Yeah, he does fit in there. Yep. There's a little bit in there as the single competitor.
That's right. Taking him right
it
there.
It hurts me to put him down as golden era.
Yep.
And there's no anvil. Just out. Where's the anvil? I was never really too good at picking favorite people in tag teams. I can say I wasn't a Marty Jannetty guy. No, but
I wasn't either. But I am also always, usually when it comes to tag teams, and one guy's always more popular. For whatever reason, I always gravitated to the less popular guy almost every time. Like I'm a Matt Hardy guy. You know, I know people love Jeff, and Jeff's great, but at the end of the day, I thought Jeff just jumped off high things.
He still does.
And don't get me wrong, I would never do any of that. So he's got some major cojones, as they say. But yeah, and Matt was super cool to me that one time I met him. It doesn't take a lot to make me a fan of yours for life, and he did it. And then I got depressed when I watched him walk, just like Mick Foley. They don't get around very well.
No, and I can't believe Matt Hardy's still doing what he's doing.
He needs I just wish he wouldn't hit his head all the time. But anyway.
You made it sound like you're a kid, like you're learning how to walk. I just wish he would. I'm trying to get him to walk and teach him to walk, but
that's not what I meant.
I just don't want him to hit his head all the time.
Oh, side note, on Apple Plus, there's this incredible, amazing documentary about Michael J. Fox. Mm-hmm. It's incredibly moving, and you will get emotional watching it. Especially since me and you grew up with this guy being like one of the biggest stars and one of my favorite actors ever.
Yeah.
And just to see how Parkinson's has just riddled him and how he and watching him walk for the first time destroyed me. So, yeah.
I saw him on stage with Christopher Lloyd, like a little clip, and I was like, oh.
And he falls all the time because he can't help it. And he's always breaking bones and stuff because of that. Anyway, go watch it. It's an incredible documentary.
Oh, I just had somebody. Thanks a lot. I'm going to go with my favorite wrestler of all time, even though my favorite wrestling podcaster doesn't really enjoy him. I do, because he was the guy that got me to watch WCW. And I'm going to go with Chris Jericho. That's right.
He was on my list for my next not golden era, for the Attitude Era, for sure.
I love me some Chris Jericho.
His WC stuff is very underrated, by the way.
Oh, that whole thing he did with Goldberg, calling him Greenberg and everything else. And
stuff he did with Dean Malenko was incredible.
To this day, if I see a picture of Dean Malenko, I refer to him as Stinko Malenko. I just have to. I don't know why.
I refer to him as the man with one less hold than Chris Jericho.
Yeah. I the I think one of Chris Jericho's very underrated runs too that I really enjoyed, and I was like, I don't think I want to watch wrestling anymore.
Yeah.
But drew me back into it was his whole list gimmick, and when him and Kevin Owens were best friends.
Yes. To this day, it's one of the best segments ever. When he takes the list and he realizes his name's on it. Oh man, so well done.
It's so great. I used to do that all the time because every time somebody made me mad. He even put I sent it to my brother. What was it? Hurricane Irma that hit Florida, and my brother was like in the middle of Hurricane Irma, and he put Hurricane Irma on the list. And he went through, "You want to ruin people's lives, huh? Huh?" And he did the whole bit on this video, and he was like, "Guess what, Hurricane Irma? You just made the list." So for him to put a hurricane on a list and not the hurricane, we're not talking about Shane Helms.
Well, I'm going to continue my golden era run here, and I'm going to go Jake the Snake, master of the DDT. One of the few wrestlers who would talk and you would listen and he didn't have to yell at you, which is always impressive to me.
Or throw
especially as I get older and I notice everybody's just yelling.
Or throw a beer can at your head.
Shout out to Matt.
Shout out to Matt.
I hope you learn to duck. Yeah, this is another way I can tell that I hit 40, Andrew, is I'll be browsing YouTube and it'll play a little preview of the video if you stay on it for a little bit. And it's like just a younger person looking at the camera and they're talking like this at you. Hey, can you get ready for this? We're going to talk. And it's a subject you're like, I'm interested in this subject, but they're yelling and shouting at me and I just can't do it.
I can't do it either. I cannot.
So here's what we're trying to say.
Talk.
Calm down.
Yeah. Just relax. Chill out. Yeah. Have a beer and throw it at Matt Johnson's head.
What if he made a gimmick out of that? People throw beers at his head. He could have
came to the ring together. Jake would just shotgun a beer and then throw it at Matt's head.
Yeah.
I wonder if Matt made a crap load of money, if he would be okay with that gimmick.
I don't know. Whenever Matt talks about it, we're putting words in Matt's mouth here.
Yes.
But whenever Matt talks about it, it's not necessarily a happy memory for him.
No.
So I don't know.
I think it's one of the reasons why Matt was like, wrestling is not for me. Matt is way too good of a person and what I understand about the wrestling business, he is way too good of a person to be in the wrestling business.
Yeah. You have to deal with a lot, that's for sure.
All right. Where am I at? You took Bret Hart, but then I took Hot Rod.
Yep.
I got an idea here. And this guy didn't suck, but a lot of people said he did. And that is Kurt Angle.
Man, I was hoping he'd stick around. I was hoping you forgot about him.
Well, we were talking about Matt, and it popped in my head.
Yeah,
I know how much Matt loves Kurt Angle. And I guess he won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck.
I've heard that before, yeah. That's the rumor going around.
That is the rumor?
That is the rumor. He's also the other guy when I think of someone who can do comedy, but takes away none of his credibility when it comes to his in-ring stuff.
So great. I still love just a sexy Kurt.
I still think about him wearing that cowboy hat and trying to sing with the ukulele. That's just such an incredible thing. And then he would turn around and you wouldn't laugh at him in the ring. I tell you that much, because he would destroy you. But oh man, great pick.
Shout out to the late great Sherry Martel.
Oh yes.
I couldn't believe she was Peggy Sue. That's another deep cut for wrestling fans. If you look up, you're like,
all right,
who's Peggy Sue?
All right, golden era here.
All right,
and the only person to wrestle and destroy people that way and help defeat Cobra
No, this is what I wanted. Damn it. I should have picked him first.
Sergeant
Oh.
Slaughter is my next pick for my golden era team.
Oh.
I can't believe you laughed him. I thought you would have got him quick.
I wanted him, but I was like, I was gonna be sneaky. I thought it was gonna be sneaky, go with Kurt Angle, but I should have known you're on a golden era kick right now. So damn it.
Had to do it. Had to do it.
Okay, I'm gonna go with this man. Recently passed away. Um, he was no jabroni, no jabroni at all. First guy to use the word jabroni, from what I understand in the wrestling business. And I'm going with Sheiky Baby, the Iron Sheik.
That's a really good pick.
Sheiky Baby,
Really, really good pick.
winner of the gimmick battle royal at what, WrestleMania 17?
I think so, right?
Yeah,
Man, that's a great pick. Good gosh.
I went with
Good gosh.
Sheiky Baby, Hulk Hogan.
Oh, I know who I'm going to go with next. Golden era. Here, though, he kind of could fit both, I guess, technically, but I'm going to use golden era, which would probably be when obviously be when he's younger, and he got around even better. And he was in one of the first Nintendo wrestling games I ever played. I'm going Bam Bam. Bam Bam Bigelow.
Great
Golden era pick here.
Going golden era, Bam Bam.
Yeah, man. Just that's in the era of when you see a big guy like that doing cartwheels and freaking doing flips and stuff was incredible. Now, if you're a big guy and you don't do those things, you're like, why does this guy even wrestle?
Yeah, yeah.
But during this era, like, it was incredible to see this stuff. And he just had, I mean, you just see this look of this guy with the flames tattooed on his head and the, in the suit he would always wear to the ring, or his outfit, whatever you'd call that, with the flames on it and stuff. He just looked so freaking cool to me every time.
Oh my goodness, how did I leave this guy off? Because you know what? He is the perfect pick. Mr. Perfect.
Man.
That's right. Not Kurt Hennig. Mr. Perfect.
That's a great pick. All right. You're going to be really mad at me for my next pick?
Oh, you are.
I can't believe you've left him to still be here to be picked as I continue my golden era kick here.
No, you're not going to do it to me. Please tell me it's not who I think it is.
Andrew, if you have a car and
Damn it.
it breaks down and you can't drive it anymore, where do they throw that car? Into the junkyard. There's junkyards.
No, they take it to a used car salesman or they sell it to the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. So you're taking the $1 Million Man. Okay.
No, I'm junkyard. I think you'd be so mad at me.
This is I gotta have her, huh?
Yeah, this is what happens when you take my Roddy Piper. I would have taken your junkyard dog.
Oh, I was hoping like you would just slide.
No, he's the man. He's so great. Underrated promo guy too, by the way. Junkyard dog.
I love the junkyard dog voice.
Just so easily likable too, right? He's just one of those guys, like, you just immediately like this guy when he's on your screen. What a likable dude. His story is just so sad how it ends, but during the golden era, though, there was one of the biggest stars is Junkyard Dog.
Junkyard Dog, baby. Thump. Let's see. I'm trying to. Oh, I could go either way. I'm evened up now. Oh man.
I got one more to be evened up.
Yes. So yep. You're 7 Attitude Era. Yep. 6 Golden Era. 6 and 6 with both. Damn it. Who do I want? Okay. You know what? I'm gonna go with Mr. PPV RVD. The whole effing show. Rob Van Dam. I felt as an ECW fan, if I did not take an ECW guy, I was not going to do this list justice.
Oh, man. I'm trying to decide who I want to take next. There's a lot of really good golden era people still around here.
There's
But my other issue is so many people I want to say for the other era. Man, this is tough.
Yeah, that's why I love doing these. Like,
Okay, I know. Oh man, is he?
oh, you're gonna take B. Brian Blair. Oh, or are you gonna take your tag team with the Killer Bees right now?
Oh man. Oh gosh. All right, this is just tough for me. I'm trying to decide. Okay, I'll just ask you. Would you consider Owen Hart Golden Era?
I consider him either one because
Okay,
it's
because
92. He was um was he in that tag team with Coco High Energy?
I think so.
Yes, 91 to 99. And then High Energy was 91 to 93. So I would say you could take Golden Era, Brett, or Golden Era Owen.
Well, see, when Owen, the reason I even asked though, well, sadly, obviously, that tragedy happens like kind of right on the cusp of Attitude Era, really.
Yeah.
Um, and he kind of his biggest moments are obviously like kind of in the middle between the two. He was sort of one of those bridges between these two eras in a way.
I would say he goes.
But if you're going to allow it, I'm going to take him for Golden Era.
I got no problem with Golden Era. He was there.
All right,
I do remember Owen Hart by himself a little bit. And I won't
Owen
make
Hart
you do
for
Blue
sure.
Blazer.
Thank you. Blue Blazer was fine, and he made it work because he's so good.
Yeah.
But I will Owen Hart. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, not a problem. Yeah, because that's when he would work like I remember that. It was High Energy and the New Foundation.
New Foundation's what I remember. Yeah.
You don't remember High Energy with him and Coco?
I remember Coco, obviously, but I mean, I went back and knew and saw some of it, but I don't remember him growing up. I definitely remember New Generation stuff or New Federation.
I think I'm gonna take this guy because he kind of intrigued me watching his Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah.
And everything else is it's what do I want though? Do I want Adrian Adonis or do I want adorable Adrian Adonis? Well,
It is up to
he
you.
comes to me either way. So I'm gonna go with Adrian Adonis, and when I make my card, I'll make the pick there. I think that would probably be the best way to do it because both of it. I mean, his gimmick is he's only in the golden era.
Yeah. That's for sure. Yeah. All right. So now I'm tied. So I can go
Yep.
either sides. Oh man. I am thinking. I'm trying to think of my issue here is do I want to take this one guy by himself or as my tag team? And that's what I'm trying to think of.
Oh no.
Oh good gosh.
Who do you got?
All
Yeah, it's
right. I'm just gonna do brain busters. I'm doing brain busters.
Oh,
I almost wanted to take Arn Anderson by himself because he's one of my all-time favorites.
but you want
Well,
that Holly in there?
but I got to throw some Tully in there. I mean, they're probably most famously because that was their WWF run was the Brain Busters, but I liked them prior to that. If you go back and watch old tag team matches with these two, oh man, they're doing what the good tag teams now, like FTR, do now. Like you can tell they were really influenced by these just great in ring stuff of just smart heel bad guy tag team wrestling is what these two excelled at. And Arn Anderson also one of the underrated talkers too, again, which is a big deal to me. So I'm going to go. I'll just say Brain Busters because I think that's probably the one most people remember when they went, even though they weren't actually in the WWF for super long.
No, I'm gonna go Road Warriors.
That's a good pick.
I just gotta get this done. Golden Era, not no LOD 2000, not Legion of Doom, because I've learned throughout history that Road Warriors are better than Legion of Doom. I just if you watch anything old with them, once that I Am Iron Man hits, that's a pop. That is just absolutely crazy.
Yes. All right, I'm going to take my other tag team. I'm going to go with my Attitude Era tag team, and I gotta go Hardy Boys. I have to go Hardy Boys. I got to take them. I'm from North Carolina. If I don't take these guys, I'd probably be kicked out of the state on top of that. But they were legit my favorite tag team. Between them and Edge and Christian was the two I was trying to choose between because I'm a giant Christian mark, just so people know. Love Christian. Edge is fantastic. Edge is great. But again, I'm one of those guys. I don't know why. I always gravitate toward the lesser of the two. And I mean, I just mean by star status. I don't mean anything else. Like just two people, popularity, I guess. And Edge is fantastic. I really like Edge a lot. But man, Christian was. Do you remember when he actually he won? Well, they had split up the title technically, but he won a SmackDown version of the world title.
Yeah. No, I didn't really watch it then.
I choked up because I just like I like the guy so much.
Because that's like right when Edge retired.
Yeah. Yes. But my pick is the Hardy Boys. Some of the best. I mean, you had two. They work so well together. Legit brothers, but also because Jeff could do the high flying stuff, and Matt could actually do a lot of the. He's really underrated in his actual wrestling skills stuff, and that's when they kind of worked really well. And they didn't try to hide their accents either when they talked, which is also great to me.
I can't
Because Vince McMahon famously does not like a Southern accent.
No. I can't believe they lasted this long, or he lasted this long. I'm going with HBK.
I've been debating him where if I picked him where I was going to take him. Where you take him?
Just on that cusp of the Attitude Era.
Yeah, he's another one of those kind of bridges in a way.
I gotta go HBK. The Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. There's my showstopper.
There you go. Yeah, can have a great match with anybody.
Yep.
My favorite Hulk Hogan match is with him. I really do enjoy that match for how stupid it is.
I realize
even though if you really break it down, Shawn's been a real dick, but it's very funny to me.
That's where I really appreciate the work, and where you don't really see it when a guy like we listen to Jim Cornette constantly. We don't always agree with Mr. Cornette, but we do. He's a very
in fact, if I'm being honest, I barely agree with him, but he's entertaining to me.
He's very entertaining. And he hates Shawn Michaels the person, but speaks very, very highly of Shawn Michaels the performer.
Well, I mean, Shawn would even tell you himself during this time he was a real prick. So
yeah,
like he very much admits it. Hopefully he's not as. I don't think he seems as bad now. Apparently he's pretty. They like him a lot because he does a lot of NXT help there. So all right, that's a great pick
right with the Lord.
He did, yeah. It helps a lot of people from what I've heard. All right, this is a personal pick for myself. One of my favorite wrestlers. Also, I'd always pick this guy on WCW Revenge because I wanted to do a shooting star. Right, I got to do a shooting star press, and you can't freaking powerbomb this man. No matter. In fact, the one time I saw him got powerbombed, my jaw dropped because that just doesn't happen. I'm going Billy Kidman here.
You love Billy Kidman.
I do. I'm talking. He wore the jorts before John Cena, and this guy was incredible. So I'm going to go with Billy Kidman, even though one of his big storylines toward the end when he was getting, I was very excited because he had become like one of the main event acts. In fact, his program was with Hulk Hogan or Hollywood Hogan, and that's a big deal. But if you break it down, the whole program started with him having a sex tape with Tori Wilson.
Only the best.
Yeah. You'll never guess who was in charge of creative then. Never ever guess. Again, Cornette doesn't like this guy.
Oh.
Running theme. But I gotta go Billy Kidman here because I always like this guy could put on some bangers of a wrestling match. So Billy Kidman.
My next pick. Actually, you didn't know?
Oh.
You guys better go call somebody. Oh, yes. To this day, do not remember my children's birthday all the way, but I can recite the whole entire thing for the New Age Outlaws. I love New Age Outlaws. This is my favorite tag team of all time. It's a fact. My kids get very angry with me that I could sit there and, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, D Generation X proudly brings to you their WWF Tag Team Champions of the World, the Road Dogg Jesse James, the Badass Billy Gunn, the New Age Laws. And they're like, how do you remember that word for word, but you can't remember our birthday or our names? I'm like,
Or our names.
oh, it's real bad. It's bad, Johnny. It's real bad. There's times where Jacoby, I'll be sitting there, I'm talking to my wife in bed, and I'll have to go, it will talk, and I'm like, who's that? Who's that little blonde haired kid that his room's down the hall? And she'll go, your son, Jacoby? And I'm like, yeah.
Could
Okay.
you imagine if your dad was talking to you and your own father was talking about you and forgets your name?
Okay, you want to hear something real bad?
More than anything.
Okay. So we're waiting in line, and I have to remember Jacoby's birthday, but it's just more of like a reflex now because he takes medication. So we're sitting there, we're waiting in the CVS drive-through, waiting for his medication to come up, and he just shouts out, he goes, August 4th. And I go, oh, what's going on August 4th? Thinking there's something in the area going on that he wants to go to. And all he does is look at me and go, it's my birthday, Dad. And I'm like, oh.
That's so sad. That's so sad.
I get tripped up. There's 3 of them. I gotta worry about what's going on that day. Okay. Why don't you just worry about what's going on that day?
I'm crying over here.
So yeah. That's how bad I get.
That's my. And what's funny is I bet he was being sincere because he knew you really did forget. It was like you were trying to play a joke like a dad would do.
No,
because
if he would have put the year afterwards, I think it would have dawned in my head because I have to say his birthday every year. Every time I call, make a doctor's appointment or anything else. Sometimes I jumble them together, like it's all 3 1. Like I just combine them. But yeah.
Now I'm laughing. I don't have any kids. I would probably be the same way. I'm really bad with it. Unless like your birthday is on like I can remember one of my friends' birthdays because when I first met them, their birthday happened on a Friday the 13th. And that's legit the only reason I can remember that. Because it's something like that.
He's the only one that doesn't have a birthday within 3 months. Okay. Yeah. So I was born in December. My oldest son was born in December. My wife was born in January.
That's a great
daughter was born in February. And here's Jacoby with August.
Oh yeah, he's the outlier there.
So that's what I gotta tell him. I'm like, dude, you're not in the sequence.
It's your fault that you were born then.
He also gets mad that 2 of my like really good childhood best friends, like I can recite their birthdays, but I can't. But they're also September. Yeah, November. So it's like a fall type deal. Like if your birthday is in the summer, I can't comprehend it. Like I have a cousin that, well, they tell me he was born in May, but in my mind, he was born in June. So I always wish him a happy birthday on the day, in air quotes, that they say he was born, but that's probably the actual day. But in my mind, he was born in June for some reason. I have him in June.
Yeah, I got you. It's just so funny. Like I just imagine your son just being just so dejected in the backseat of your car. It was his dad didn't know it was his birthday.
Oh, he knows. He knows.
Oh, that's gonna be a dark side of the ring coming up. If he gets into wrestling, that's gonna be a story for sure.
Oh yeah,
I can see the reenactment now. Drive through to CVS. Oh God! All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get my last pick for the Attitude Era. I can't believe this guy is still here. I'm going to have some great matches with my picks here in this era. Just with my last 1, 2, 3, 4 picks, I'm going Rey Mysterio.
Ooh, not filthy animal Rey Mysterio.
No. I'm talking masked Rey Mysterio. Still going today. Still putting on bangers today. Pretty incredible if you think about it.
It is.
But in my opinion, one of the, if not the greatest small guy in pro wrestling, right? He's got to be up there for sure.
Yeah, definitely not Marco Stunt.
Yeah, Rey Mysterio. I mean, Rey Mysterio just is so dang cool. And do yourself a favor if you like pro wrestling at all, and you haven't gone back and seen the Halloween Havoc of the match with him and Eddie Guerrero.
Oh,
Got every way to see it. That match is incredible. One of the best matches I've ever seen. But just such a great, like, innovative wrestler too. Like, he would pull out a move out of nowhere. It just looked incredible. And it really does take a lot for me. This is just my personal likes when it comes to a pro wrestler. If you're a high flyer, it takes a lot for me to like you if you do a lot of high flying.
Yeah.
I like you to mix it up and make it look like a real quote unquote fight. That's just what I personally like. I don't mind the comedy. Actually, I kind of enjoy the comedy and the mixture of it. But I want to have a little bit of. I like to be worked too. Work me, just work me.
I don't.
But I think Ray did a really good job of, like, his using his size to, like, making it look like it's an advantage that he throws himself at people in these certain ways. Like, he was, and also famously one of the memory that will always be etched in my brain is Kevin Nash lone darting him into the side of that that trailer.
Poor Ray.
Rey Mysterio, and that closes out my Attitude Era draft. Except for I'll actually go ahead and next time I'll take my Attitude Era manager. So, who's your next pick?
The Dudley Boys. I gotta go.
Are you taking all of them or just the two main ones?
I'm just taking Devon.
I'll even throw in Spike Dudley. I think you got to have him too. He was my favorite Dudley personally.
I was always a big fan of Big Dick Dudley, the one at Monster.
Yeah, I was just always jealous. I'd be like the adequate Dick Dudley would be my name.
I think that's the thing that a lot of people, they see the Dudley Boys, like TNA Dudley Boys, WWF, I still call it WWF Dudley Boys, but the fact that the Bubba Ray and Devon aren't even the original Dudley Boys,
right?
That they're the biggest over for the Dudley Boys is just absolutely amazing. Because if you look at the original gimmick for the Dudley Boys, it's actually kind of pretty funny. It's comedic, but it's not idiot comedic, because it's like,
right,
Papa Dudley was a territory wrestler and he just went from territory to territory, just doing his thing. And that's how the Dudley Boys came. But to see, like, Joe Gardner and Sign Guy and the ECW and just the Dudley Boys as they should be is just absolutely amazing. But I'm just gonna go with the two. I like Spike, but they always fought Spike, even though I was kind of mad when WWF removed his finisher from the acid drop to, like, the dirty dog or something like that.
They always do stupid stuff like that. Yeah.
Kids.
Okay.
Damn kids.
All right. So I'm going to pick my manager here for the Attitude Era. And I almost wanted to save him from.
You got one more pick.
No, don't I have 10? Or am I'm bad at math.
Let me see what we got here.
I got Stone Cold, Mick Foley, Sting, Kane, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Eddie, Hardy Boys, Billy Kidman, and Rey Mysterio. Is that 10? Yeah, that's 10.
Maybe I'm bad at math. Yeah. Okay.
Am I right?
Yeah, I think you have one more Golden Age guy.
Right. Yeah, I haven't finished my Golden Age for sure.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm probably throwing you off because I'm technically picking. I made a pick 11.
Yeah.
That's probably throwing your numbers off. But yeah, I'm going to take my manager here for the Attitude Era, and I almost wanted to save him for the other era, but there's another guy I want for that era. So, but Andrew, when I think managers, the first name that I think of is, oh yes,
of course. Okay, good.
I got to go Paul Bearer here. One of, in my opinion, greatest and most unique characters in pro wrestling. And was a legit, by the way. The reason that he got that gimmick, because that was really his day job. So, he really ran like a funeral company. So Paul Bearer just such an awesome character that I will always remember. Like when I was young and I was really thinking, man, I want to get into wrestling, but even though for my size I was fairly athletic, I wasn't athletic enough for sure. But I could take a bump and I could talk. And I was looking at the certain Paul Bear. I was like, you know what?
You could do it.
I think I could do something like that. I think I could be a really good manager because I could be a mouthpiece for somebody for sure. And ultimately, obviously, I never did it, but he was my big inspiration.
Percy Pringle.
Yes, great potato chip.
I got to go one more tag team because I'm out of balance. And I was thinking, I got 2 golden area in mind for what I want to do. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to go with Loverboy Dennis and beautiful Bobby Eaton. I'm going with the Midnight Express.
Oh, that's a great pick. That is a great pick. Man. Bobby Eaton, by the way, another underrated guy.
Oh, hugely. And probably the nicest guy ever in wrestling. From what I understand from
Sounds like it, right?
Mick Foley, like people talk about Mick Foley, but even Mick Foley was like, no, I think Bobby Eaton at time. This is the guy, Bobby Eaton, who was a heel, but also would make sure he carried extra pairs of socks, underwear, food, whatever he had on the road, just in case somebody needed it. That's absolutely amazing. And I love the story of when Bill Dundee found out that a wrestler was dating his daughter, and he was furious, absolutely furious. And she said, "Who are you dating?" And she said, "Bobby Eaton." And he said, "Oh, okay, that's fine." So there just speaks volumes of how great Bobby Eaton is. I've heard stories of him buying kids hot dogs before events, like be outside and they wouldn't have enough money and he'd be like, "Here you go, kid." So but I'm gonna go with the Midnight Express.
It's a good pick. This guy could technically fit in either, but I need him for my golden era because that's the spots I have left, and he's still there. And he's another one of those guys. When I was young, was like, I don't get this guy. But as I got older, I was like, this guy's actually pretty great. And I think it's just I had this hang up about submission finishers. I don't know why. For the longest time, I just hated them. But I mean, he had his own express even, Andrew. You know, and from the sounds of things. And today, if you meet him today, he's actually one of the nice guys today, from the sounds of things. And you have a great story about him too, by the way. I'm going to go Lex Luger, or Luther, as I accidentally call him from time to time because I read too many comic books.
Lexi.
That's right. Fantastic bus too, by the way.
You know what? Take a little listen to this commercial break.
Every week on this superstation, there's a storm, live, thunder. Last Thursday night, an avalanche of agony smothered Booker T and the NWO ambushed the Wolfpack. Thunder, tonight, 8:05 Eastern, only on the superstation.
So one more Attitude Era singles. Damn it. Who do I want? I think I got all the big. You know what? We didn't get all the big ones. We didn't get Triple H.
You're ready to play the game, I guess.
I am. And I also have the combination if I want to make another tag match. I got the original DX going there.
See, I got the Outsiders if I want to do that.
Can't believe I missed that up there. But all right. We should have everybody now.
All right. So I have my last golden era pick here.
Yeah, you should have your manager.
No, I have an actual pick. I have a wrestler here. Yeah. Man, we just did this, Andrew.
I know we just did this.
I love you, buddy. Let's do this. We can do this. I believe in you.
This is such a good idea on paper till we actually gotta.
Oh, it's still a great idea, and I refuse to believe otherwise. Despite how maddening it would be if you can count and we can't. Oh man. All right. So I'm trying to decide who I want for my last pick here. I'm kind of down between a couple guys that are still on the board that I really like. I'm trying to decide. Oh man. between one guy who always had a 2x4 with him, or
Gee, I wonder who that could be. You know, I think that's the only. There's probably two, maybe three acceptable times in life that you can shout the word "ho."
Yeah.
In public is
yeah,
like
it's that or Santa Claus doing it 3 times.
Santa Claus, or if you're at like a Thundercats convention.
Oh yeah.
But other than that, there's no other acceptable moments.
All right, so I'm trying to decide between 3. All right, I got him or Harley Race or George the Animal Steel. I'm trying to decide between these 3 because I've always liked these 3 guys. So I'm totally happy with either one of these. Man, there's just something about a guy who would eat the turnbuckle that I'm like, I get that guy. And he's a strange man, right? And I gotta go George the Animal Steel. Just such a weird, strange guy. You never know what you're going to get. Man, I feel bad leaving Harley Race up because he's such a great heel. But George Steele, I'm going George Steele here. And now I have one manager left.
Now you have one manager left, and I do believe I have both my managers left still.
Yeah,
because I filled out mine. This is hard. Well, you took Paul Bearer, and I'm gonna go Golden Era. The probably greatest manager ever. Let me just point. Let me just point. Yep. Right to the brain. Right to the brain.
Oh man, I was hoping you wouldn't take him.
How would I not take him? Oh God. It's Bobby.
In my opinion, the greatest manager ever. Bobby the Brain Heenan. And also, in my opinion, the true nemesis of Hulk Hogan back in Hulk Hogan's golden era.
Oh yeah. Give me Bobby.
Oh, that's such a great pick. I really wanted that one.
How do you not golden era manager? I don't think I've ever heard anybody not say that he is not the greatest manager of all time.
Well, I think Paul Heyman just made the rounds recently because he called himself the greatest, and somebody brought up Bobby Heenan, and he goes, "Who cares? He's dead."
Oh, jeez.
It was in character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because he's very attuned to the business as well.
Yeah. Okay. My manager then, since you took him, I'm going to take my next favorite Golden Era manager. Not only for his amazing manager skills, but also this guy happened to be one of the most famous plumbers of all time, Captain Lou Albano.
Oh, Captain Lou.
Yeah. / Mario. That's who I'm taking here.
Thought you were gonna go with like classy Freddie Blassie.
I could have, but my heart lies with an Italian plumber, and he was my Mario because when that cartoon came on and he was playing the live action Mario, that sealed it for me.
Jeez. Let's see who we got here.
And it's because of him and his connections with Cyndi Lauper that really helped boom WrestleMania.
Do you know who I find to be a very underrated manager? That if I go back and I watch stuff, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty. He's pretty cool. It's Slick.
Yes, yeah. I mean, that's another topic we can do. Wrestling managers, but because I really, really love them. But yeah, well, we've done it. That's our. Well, you got one more. You got one more. Yeah.
I got Attitude Era manager. Does he fit in there though?
I asked you about Owen Hart, so I'll be really lenient here.
You mentioned him. Paul Heyman, which
I would pick him. Because he was definitely active in the 90s. I mean, he was running with that giant cell phone, remember? So he started then, and he ran ECW, and then he went to WWF.
He wasn't he wasn't a manager though in ECW.
Right, he was literally the one who ran it. Oh, it's tough.
Jim Cornette got mentioned in managers. Oh man.
Well, I want him to listen to this and be mad, so that way he talks about me. I don't think he talks about anything he actually likes.
Who, Cornette?
Yeah. This is how we get our name out there, Andrew.
Was because Brock Lesnar came in like 2001, right?
Yeah, early 2000s. Yeah.
Well, Heyman's on here, and he managed. I'm gonna go Paul Heyman. I know there's gonna be some by
You
purists.
have to ask me if I'll allow it.
You already said you would.
Oh, yeah. I just wanted to be asked. I was going to say yes, Andrew. I just wanted to be asked.
Is it okay if I pick Paul Heyman?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
And I heard he is a really great guy in the real life.
Unless he owes you money.
Yeah, unless he owes you money.
Yeah.
I heard conversational wise to lesser, I don't want to say lesser talent, to the extras like Matt was.
Yeah, or if you're not on top of the card.
Yeah.
There's great stories of if he liked you, he would really pull for you and do what he could to help you. If he saw something in you and nobody else was seeing it, he would really push for you.
Is Roman Reigns right now without Paul Heyman?
That's a lot of characters. I mean, a lot of wrestlers you could say that about, right? Man. All right, well, we did it. We got our picks for both these eras somehow. I think we've got the correct number.
I think we do. If we don't, we will drop or add people. I was kind of going through the list as we were talking, but yeah, I think we did it all.
By some miracle from Vince McMahon himself, we've done it. Minus the terrible things. We've done it. Now, what do we do now, Andrew? What's going to be the second part of this that you can only get on
the Retroactive Sports podcast?
Yeah.
We are going to take these guys and we are going to make our own card from our rosters that we drafted.
Oh, just so you know, if you're not familiar, card means show.
Oh, yes. We're making our own show because SummerSlam is this month. So I figured this is fun. And like I said, that guy made the Andre the Giant comment, which
irritated us a little bit.
Irritated me.
Well, irritated me today because I just now heard about it. Yeah.
And I think wrestling is a big part of sports history.
Yeah.
Which the retroactive is all about. And I think a lot of people look at it as the F word, fake, and everything.
Oh,
I said it. I said as. Do I use the F word? I use it as choreographed, predetermined matches.
It's still real to me. Damn it.
Yes, it is. And that is the great thing about wrestling. It has a wonderful history, wonderful storylines. I think when you go look back on YouTube at a lot of this stuff. This was a family event. This is like going to a baseball game, going to a football game. This was a family event. You see grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles, everything else in the stands. So to bag on wrestling, I mean, you can, to each their own, but it's something enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's a reality scape. It's like any other sports or any other TV show. It's to each their own. And it's a beautiful thing when it is done 100%. I want to say 100% perfect, but when it is done right, and you actually have to sit there and wonder, how did they pull that off? And is that guy really hurt?
I kind of think you can go to a wrestling show, no matter who you are, and you'll find at least one person or one match that'll really, really catch you.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's all kinds of different styles and different characters and people. Somebody's going to float your boat, as they say.
There's just too many good things out there when it comes to wrestling, I feel. And we talk about Cornette, where he's like, I don't really like this. I don't like this. But I think it's one of those things where you have to have a variety of show of things now that there's no territories.
Yeah.
Back in the territory days, you could say, this is our style. This is what we're going to do. This is what the people want. But now that it's nationally broadcast, you got to be able to grab in everybody.
Yeah. So that's that's the show, both shows. Andrew and I appreciate all of you listening. We have Facebook pages for both these shows. Please go join those if you haven't already. As my Xbox turns itself on, it scared the crap out of me. I don't know if you could hear that. But thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Also, I really wanted to quickly say, because this guy was important to both me and your childhoods, and as of this recording, he recently passed away. I know he wasn't a perfect guy. He had his troubles for sure, but
we all do.
But man, when I think back of all the things he brought joy to for me as a kid, just from the Pee-wee's Playhouse to the movies and I was telling you this, the one thing that really sticks in my mind is the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie. He was my favorite part. There's I'll always laugh at his death scene. It's really, really funny.
That just lasts forever.
Yes, it keeps going.
Even after the credit, I think it's one of the first mid-credit rolls.
Yes, it's so good. It's so good. And reading all these stories from all these people who knew him, just really makes you think, man, there was regardless of the problems he went through, there was a nice guy there who actually cared about anybody he met. Real quick, I wanted to tell this one story. He was on one of those late night talk shows. I can't remember if it was something like Letterman, one of those. And, in the green room where the guests are for this show, that's where they are. And there'll always be like the show will assign one of their assistants to be the assistant of the, whatever the guest needs or helps. That's your job for that night. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on his name, but this guy was like that night, Rubens was going to be there and was just flabbergasted by how nice and helpful this guy was, to the point where he invited him to his house the next week. Hey, you want to come hang out? And, you're not going to say no to Pee Wee Herman, but also you're going to think, because especially during this time, like, I bet it's going to be really weird, right? Because he's kind of a strange cat, as they say. And the guy goes, I went over, he showed me around his house, and we just talked and laughed and hung out and had a sandwich for lunch. And that was literally it. But he goes, the reason it stood out to me is because nobody outside of all the years he was an assistant on that show, all the stars, there have been plenty of really nice people, but no one like invited me to their house. And from then on out would send me like a happy birthday text after that type of thing. Like nobody went to that level that he did. So I really wanted to quickly say, this really bummed me out yesterday when I found this news out. What a major part of our childhood, Andrew, will be really, really, really missed.
Yeah, huge Pee Wee fan growing up. One of the worst days in first grade is my uncle got me an autographed Pee Wee Herman picture. I took it to school because I was student of the month, and you got to take something that you were proud of. I was proud of Pee Wee, my autographed Pee Wee Herman picture. Somebody stole it. To this day, we don't know who stole it. They even did the turn off the lights and put it back where it is, and nobody's going to say a word. Nobody would give up the Pee Wee Herman picture. But like you said, it's a lot of joys, a lot of everything else. And one of my fondest memories of my mother, who passed about 2 years ago, is never complained about getting us anything. But the one story she always told was, you'll enjoy this because it has to do with hills, and you just learned about hills.
Yes. For those who don't know, like I didn't know, it's a store.
Yeah, it was based in like the Northeast, around in that area. And she always talked about, not going out to get anything else, but she just says, there I was standing at Hills at 2:00 in the morning after getting off from like her second or third job so she could give us Christmas, waiting in line to pay for some stupid talking Pee Wee Herman doll that she knew was going to piss her off. And that is one of my favorite. And I love that Pee Wee Herman, talking Pee Wee Herman doll, sweet pull string, everything else. And I loved every time she told that story. I do believe if you go back like episode 3, and there was also where I released it when she passed, She does talk about that story. So that's was when the show was Let's Talk But No Politics. Okay. But
Yeah.
yeah, if you ever want to go back and listen to her talk about the damn Pee Wee Herman doll, absolutely amazing. So there's two things. She knew so much that Pee Wee gave me joy in my life that she was going to do it. And she sat through because we watched the Christmas specials, everything.
Yeah.
So Pee Wee, I think this is one that kind of got to me too, as I'm trying to fight back tears because how much I love Pee Wee. When we did Saturday Morning Rewind, couldn't find Pee Wee. I don't even know if we could find it to watch it, but I just knew I was not going to like watch it because I already knew the grade that I was going to give it as a plus show. Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
And also an innovator of what could be comedy, as weird as that may sound. The comedy is such a broad thing. What makes me laugh might not make you laugh, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
But he was kind of the innovator to me. I mean, there were sure some before him, but like sort of an alt comedy type of guy in a way, not afraid to take weird chances. Those Pee Wee Herman movies, if you go back and watch them, at their core, they're just kind of weird, right? But they work because of that.
There was never one that was the exact same.
Exactly, right, yeah. Which a lot of movie franchises you definitely cannot say that about.
They're not exactly the same in the same characters, same settings, from Pee-wee's Big Adventure to Pee-wee's Big Top to even that, what is it, Big Holiday?
Yeah.
They're all set differently, but it's still the same Pee-wee. And we always talk about when we do movie reviews, as long as you have the essence of the show, then it's okay. And there was always that essence of Pee-wee there, no matter what type of movie he did, what type of show. He showed up in, I think, in 227 at one point. I remember that. But also Paul Rubens, the range is just absolutely amazing. Mystery Men as the Spleen.
Yes.
The FBI agent in Matilda.
Yes. Yes. Well, I already said Buffy, the one where he was in Buffy. But yeah.
Yes.
Man.
But like you said,
also in relation to wrestling, he was one of he would show up on WWE every once in a while.
Yeah, because he's the man.
Yeah.
Vince knows the money drawer. You're gonna go in and you're gonna see Pee-wee.
Yeah, for sure.
Batman Returns. That's Tucker Cobblepot. It's just so many great ones where you just would watch and you'd be like, that's Pee-wee. You knew him as Pee-wee, but Paul Rubens was really great either way you look at it.
Yeah. So rest in peace to a legend for sure. But yeah, thank you for listening to us. Andrew and I appreciate it very much.
And with that being said, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
It's gotta be Kane.
I know what you're thinking. I'm not a real athlete. I'm just a wrestler. I'm 6'10", 328 pounds.
I won boxing's Golden Gloves 3 years in a row.
I was a national champion at the University of Miami. My jersey was retired at Florida State.
I was the ultimate fighting champion.
When you step through those ropes, bad things do happen. Had over 200 stitches. I suffered a dozen concussions. Broken bones. I've separated shoulders. Damn near broke my neck. Blown out knees. But I still got up. This is who I am.
This is what I do. I'm not really an athlete.
This isn't real. Try lacing my boots.
Well, King.